What is up, my brother?
What's good, my brother?
What's happening, Sid?
Oh, man. I'm chilling, man. Everything is well, man.
It's so good to see you, bro.
Same here.
So good to see you.
I'm very proud of you, man.
Man, thank you, brother.
I'm beyond ecstatic right now for you, man.
Really, really appreciate that. Listen, welcome to Spark.N.Stride, where conversations are sparked and put in motion. So relax, and let's have a little toast.
Definitely.
And let's start chopping it up.
Because
I haven't seen you since. We're gonna take it back.
We're gonna go back.
We're gonna go back. We're gonna go back.
Let's go back. Let's go back. Let's go back. Let's go back.
We're gonna take it back a little bit.
Let's go back. Pass me that top. There you go.
Brother. Cheers.
Salud.
Salud. Mi casa, su casa. Ooh, that's good. Sid, I haven't seen you since, I don't know, your retirement, right?
Yeah.
Your retirement. So, let me see. I met you 2007.
7.
Where were we? 2007.
Kunsan Air Base, Korea.
Woo!
Yeah.
Talk about it.
The Wolfpack, man.
Talk about it.
December 2007. Let's get specific, because I know the exact dates, man.
Yeah.
Very cold winter.
Man, it was.
It was a good time, though. It was a really, really good time.
How would you describe Korea to people who've never been?
Who've never been, I would say...
from the military standpoint.
From the military standpoint, it's going to get you out your comfort zone. Mm-hmm. But when you find a good group of people, a good group of genuine people that you can surround yourself with, you're going to be in good hands, man. Just go there and handle business, have fun. Travel as much as you can while you're there.
Yep.
And then, just keep some good people around you, and you're going to have a good time. You might not want to come back.
You might just get wifed up out
You might just get wifed up out there. Soju stories.
The way I like to describe Korea to people, I tell them, Korea in the military.
Mm-hmm.
I could only speak, for the Air Force side of things because I'm an Air Force vet. You're an Air Force vet. I describe it as spring break for a whole year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bro, a whole year. Right?
A whole year.
Dude, one or two things can happen. Like, you could come back from Korea fit. Maybe you made some rank.
Yeah.
You could level up, right? Because it's kind of a year. You get to yourself.
Yeah.
You kind of focus. You can't bring your family with you.
Yep.
Unless you're at Osan and you're a command sponsor, which means instead of doing a year like we did, you do 2 years, but you could bring your family with you.
Yeah.
I don't know. Whatever. Like, to each his own. Maybe that works for them. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know. But you could come back after that year leveled up, or you could come back messed up.
Yeah.
Like, loss of rank.
Yeah.
Been drinking for a whole year.
Yeah.
I think I did a little bit of both. So I got there in the beginning, and my sponsor was Wayne.
Okay.
My sponsor was Wayne. I never forget it, man. So Wayne, shout out to Wayne if you're listening, Wayne. Wheezy, I love you, bro. So Wayne was my sponsor. Picks me up from Wolfpack Wheels. Remember Wolfpack Wheels?
Wolfpack Wheels, yep.
So Wayne picks me up and sizes me up, right? And we go straight to his room. So he had a roommate, and they were like spreading, the room was like separated in half by like some wall lockers. The room's not very big. It's probably not even as big as this room.
No.
But on Wayne's side, it's like a tornado went through that side, right? But brother, his energy and his humbleness, right, was like, man, sit wherever. Like, he's, knocking stuff out the way. It's really small, tight spot.
Yeah.
Wayne had Napster, I think it was.
Yeah.
and we would sit on his side of the room. We'd sip on some E&J and just listen to all kind of music. I'm talking about Phil Collins, Aretha Franklin, Wu-Tang. I mean, we would just listen to music, vibe out, and just get a feel for each other. And I think he quickly figured out that, you know, that I was legit, I was valid, right? Like I wasn't a square by any means. Yeah. But I do remember meeting you for the first time. Yeah. You came into the room. You were with Trez. Yeah. And Wayne and Trez had known each other from Virginia, from Langley. Mm-hmm. And they came in. You came in with Trez. So I just met Trez and you for the first time. I was like, the amount of swag that just walked into this room. Bro, your energy. That, like, Sid, if I could describe anybody to you, I'm just talking about energy, like salt to the earth, good dude. Mm-hmm. Right? Like good dude. And then I hope we could get into it a little bit, but pretty much you know, I did my time. I was getting close to leaving because I left in January. You had just got there, so you had a little bit of time to do. I went on to Aviano. I went on to Italy. That's right. But I wanna hear like what happened with you. Like what was your take on Korea? Like what did you enjoy? What did you not enjoy? And where'd you go on after that?
So while I was there, after you left, you know, I kind of got my feet settled and everything, got into the job. It was different for me because I was coming from stateside. I was going into Korea, which is more of a field-minded mentality. So there was a little switch right there, but the transition worked out perfect. And then what happened was I was working so hard, bro, with the exercises, and before you know it, it was over.
Okay.
But during the time, man, me and Trez, we got to see some stuff in Korea. We got to travel. We got to drink. We had a good time, man. It was great. It was great. I ended up going back there again, but we'll get into that later.
Okay. So you did another.
I did another year out there.
Whoa.
So, but after that, I ended up going to Turkey, which is a completely different switch and working for NATO.
Okay.
I was doing security for a 3-star general over there. But that was cool on the NATO side, not Air Force, but on the NATO side itself, working with a whole bunch of different countries and this, that, and the third. That's a story in itself. But yeah,
man, hold on, brother.
Yeah.
Get into that. So hold on. So you go from Kunsan, from Korea, in 2007. Mm-hmm. So you finished up probably like the end of 2007. Yeah. So the beginning of 2008, you go to Turkey to go work for a 3-star.
To work for a 3-star.
How did you even get a job working for a 3-star?
So it's a really small base. There's not a lot of people there. About 40 people in the unit. And one of my supervisors there just asked me. He was like, "Hey man, you want to go do this kind of sharp? You want to try it out?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll try it out." So we head down there to the NATO compound, and I meet this 3-star cool dude, down to earth, Maurice McFan. If you're listening, what's going on? Shout out. But cool dude. I ended up working with him. I got trained on evasive driving by the FBI. I drove a bulletproof Mercedes-Benz, and me and him just kind of hung out for a year while I was there.
Hold on, Sid. Hold on. So you got evasive training in a bulletproof Mercedes-Benz?
Yeah.
How long is this training?
The training was about 3 months. You know, it's about 3 months training. They teach you how to J-slide and hook cars and get out of trapped environments and different things. It's interesting, man. You can do a lot of things. Oh, my bad. But yeah, it was a good training. I had somebody that worked with me. We worked a 7 and 7, 7 days on, 7 days off, 24 hours a day when you're on, no drinking. And the other 7 days you just chill. And we worked out a good schedule. We had a good relationship. We traveled through Greece, through Turkey, through the Greek islands, through you name it. In that part of the region, we was all over.
So okay. So you're saying you're on a 7 and 7 pretty much, right?
Yeah.
So you're off 7 days. You're on 7 days.
Yeah.
So walk me through. Like, what's a Monday like for you in this, like, in Turkey working for this general?
A Monday is like your normal Monday. You get in, check it. You just would take him up, pick him up from his house, safe location, secret location. I can't get into many details about that, but you pick him up from home. You do some route planning, drop him off at the job, go check into your office, check your emails, do your surveys, and then pretty much you spend the rest of the day working with the local Turkish police, doing route surveys and different things like that, and then you kind of like just do lunch and just kind of it's a really chill environment, bro.
Yeah,
it's not the typical military the way we do things in you're never in uniform.
Okay,
you're never in uniform. You're always in.
You like suit and tie?
Suit and tie. You're in whatever he's in. If he's in the flight suit, you're in suit. You're in casual. If he's in blues, you're in suit and tie. You're never in uniform. But I met a lot of people there, man. Really good assignment from all over Greece, Italy. All the NATO countries are there. So you meet people from all over the place. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yo, that's legit, man.
It was legit, man. I would definitely do it again. I still got people. I still got connections in the network over there, too.
Really?
Yeah.
Yo, Sid, we've known each other for a long time. We've talked, there's always been love between you and I. I never really got a chance, we never really got into, where you grew up. I know it's Newark, right?
Yeah, Newark, yep.
You grew up in the Bricks?
Grew up in the Bricks.
Brick City?
Yep.
Can you tell us a little bit about what was it like growing up in the Brick City?
The bricks is my cloth, man. It's my fabric. I learned a lot of things at a young age growing up there. One thing that I learned was street smarts, situational awareness, like those different things that'll stick with you, life skills that'll stick with you and help you out for the rest of your life. You're gonna learn those in the early '90s, growing up in Newark, New Jersey. It's just part of life.
Right.
You grow up really quick. You grow up at a young age, and it's really good. It's really good. Yeah, it was good. There was some rough times, but you make your ways around the city, and then you meet some good people. You know who the bad actors is. You know who's the good actors, and then you just kind of live life, the way you need to live it. And you learn things along the way.
Did you did you grow up in an apartment, a house?
I grew up in a
projects,
a 4-family house.
Okay.
My house was a gate. I used to call my house a gateway. My mom's was Puerto Rican. My dad was Jamaican. So people would come from Puerto Rico, stay at my house with me and my mom and all my sisters, and then they'll establish their foundation and then go off into their life. The same thing with my father. His people would come from Jamaica. They would come from, and they would stay at our house, use that as a launching pad, and then they would make their moves through the rest of the and that's kind of like what my childhood home was like. I always had cousins and uncles and aunts over all the time, coming from different places. And it was pretty much like a launch pad for my family. My house, anyway. The house that I grew up in. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was cool. But yeah.
So how many siblings?
I got a lot. I got one sister that's my blood sister, my mother's daughter. And then I got my dad has 4 other girls and another boy.
Okay.
But all of us are close.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when your mom and your dad met, so he pretty much had his kids?
Yeah. He had some kids when they met, and then he also had some kids along the way, after, they went their separate ways. He had some kids as well. But yeah, my dad got a lot. I
think that's where you get your swag from. I think you get it from your dad. I think you get that swag from your dad.
Pop was a Rolling Stone, man.
Bruh, listen.
Pop was a Rolling Stone.
Sid, the reason why I say that is because that's a different level of game you got to have, right? Like, you show up, you're like, listen, I love you. I got these kids with me.
Yeah.
You have your kid, and we're going to make this work.
We're going to make this
right?
work. Yeah, we're going
to make
this work.
Come on, man. Like, that's next level. Yeah. Shout out to your pops. I never met him, but sir.
Yeah.
Shout out to you.
Salute to that man. Big Sid, what's going on with you? Yeah.
So when did you join the Air Force?
So what's crazy is I didn't go to the Air Force. A lot of people went to the Air Force right out of high school. I didn't. I stood in Newark for a while. I was working jobs. I was working with my uncle, rest in peace. I was doing welding. I was going to community college. And I was also working at the mall after all of that was done.
Whoa.
So the street life wasn't for me. I was like, yo, I'm going to grind it out. See where this takes me. And then my son came along, and I was like, all right, so now we got some increased responsibility. We got to make it happen. I need my time. I'm gonna have to make some sacrifices. And then, my dad did 4 years in the Army, and I didn't really want to do Army. I didn't hear good things about the Army, so I chose the Air Force. And it worked out well. So, yeah, I was on my way to work one day, stopped by the recruiter's office. He's like, man, come see me when you get a chance, man. I got something for you. And then from there, it was on the Staten Island, on the Brooklyn to Fort Hamilton. 2 weeks later, I was gone.
So how old were you?
I was 19, turning 20.
So you're walking back from work and you pass by the recruiting office?
I'm on a bus, bro.
You're on the bus.
I'm on a bus getting off. The recruiter's office was at the same bus stop that I used to catch to go to work at the mall. And I was like, man, let me just pop in here real quick and see what's going on. And yeah, it was from there. About 3 weeks after that, I was like, all right, well, let me stay home one summer, say goodbye to the fam, do some barbecues, this, that, and the third, and I think in September, October, that's when I left. September 2000.
2000. Wow.
September 2000. Graduated basic October 2000.
Whoa. Yeah. What was what stands out the most to you from basic training?
Oh man, the heat, the getting used to the authority, getting used to the yelling and all that. It's all a mind game, but you don't realize that when you get there.
Right.
Yeah, that's some people don't get through that. It's kind of rough on them, but you just got to play the game. And then once you learn how to play the game, you get in your routine, stay out the radar, stay out the limelight, and then you'll be fine from there, bro.
And then, so did you, like for the most part, when people are joining the military, right? They either know what their job is going to be in the military, or sometimes they'll go in what's called like an open general, right? So ultimately what you're signing up to do is you'll have another job counseling opportunity once you get down to basic training.
Yeah.
So some folks leave knowing what they're going to do. Some folks go on what we call like an open contract, right?
Yeah.
So like I came in open general. So did you know what your job was going to be?
I chose my job.
You chose your job.
I chose my job.
Okay.
Yeah, I chose my
and
job.
what was your job in the Air Force?
Security forces.
Okay.
Which is the equivalent to a law enforcement on the outside.
Okay.
But it's the Air Force's equivalent to a police officer.
I'll share something with you about being a cop in the Air Force. Did I mention to tell you I'm super happy you're here? Did I say
you
that to you?
mentioned it a couple times. All right. I'm
Listen,
happy to be here.
I'm super happy.
I'm
you're
happy
here.
to be here. I've been trying to get to you. I always see you cutting through McGuire and Dix the last couple years. I said, yo, I gotta go check. He said, wait till the house is ready. I said, all right, so I'm gonna wait. You gave me the invite, and now I'm here, man. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy for you. It's a beautiful.
I really appreciate that.
It's a beautiful thing you got going on here. I'm proud of you, man.
Man, thank you, brother. Thank you. This has just been an idea, and I'm just following through with an idea, man. You know what I mean? Like it literally, this whole idea for Spark.N.Stride came to me. Listen, there's a lot I want to share with you, right? So like, I will tell you this up front, like, and I won't shy away from any of this. Like the next thing I do after the military is that I will be an advocate for wellness and mental health throughout all spectrums, military, civilian, adult, child. Like I want to be an advocate for wellness and mental health.
No doubt.
I struggle with anxiety, PTSD, and a few other things. And we have this saying, right? Like stomp out the stigma. And I really, that's my next mission is to stomp out the stigma. You know what I mean? Like there is help out there. And whatever I can do to bring awareness to any kind of issue or topic regarding veterans and young folks and this new generation of veterans, like that's what I want to do. But I want to bring it back.
Okay.
We were talking about your job, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So you were security forces in the Air Force, right?
I got conned. I got conned when it came to the job. By the way. But.
Okay. You did?
A little bit. My recruiter, he said some things that wasn't absolutely true in certain aspects, but it's all good.
He showed you the video with the dudes coming out the plane with the motorcycles and everything.
I know people that send that video.
Yo,
I know people that send that video.
The crazy thing is that is an actual thing.
Yeah, it's an actual thing. Yeah,
but not everybody gets a chance to do it. That's the other part about it. You know what I mean?
There's a lot of different things that I don't want to get too deep into security forces, but there's a lot of different things that makes security forces different. It's got some very beautiful jobs. Like, for example, one of the ones that I did, but it also got some jobs that are not.
Yeah.
There's some things that you're going to do. You'll be like, yo, why am I here?
Yeah. Yeah. Straight up. Up.
It is what it is. One of those things.
So, I want to add on to that though, right? Like those jobs that you're like, man, why am I here? Why am I doing this? Listen, man, I always go back to thinking to myself, like, those jobs and those situations that you may not really be 100% on board with, or you're questioning, like, why am I doing? Those are the jobs that build character.
Yep. Absolutely.
Those are the jobs that you go back to, and those are the jobs that you can reflect on and tell folks, like, hey, man, listen, I did something worse than what you were doing now. Yeah. And, like, so that builds character, and that gives you, in my opinion, street cred, right? Especially when it comes to being a leader.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Right? Like, if you've had everything cushy, and I'm going through a tough time, don't come to me, with that jazz, like, You're not going to
understand what I'm going through.
100%.
Yeah.
So, back to security forces, back to being a cop in the Air Force. So, I'm a young airman at Charleston Air Force Base, coming to work. They're like, hey, man, you're going to go do some training with security forces. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, A1C. I've only been in the Air Force like a year and a half. So I go do augmentee training with security forces. I think it might have been like 5 days.
That was in the early years.
Yeah. So for those listening, pretty much being an augmentee is just that you're basically like backup. You're like the third string quarterback. should shit hit the fan and all else fail, like they're gonna lean on you.
You in the game.
You in the game.
You in the game.
You in the
just
game.
Like that.
Just like that.
Here you go.
So I think you'll know what I'm kind of like leaning towards. So there was a morning that I'm at work, young guy, I'm listening to Howard Stern on an analog radio, and I had a supervisor that for some reason she just could not stand Howard Stern, right? And if I knew that she was around, I wouldn't listen to Howard Stern. But ultimately, she's not around this day. I'm on an analog radio, like an antenna, and I have the radio on the window with the antenna. Like, bro, like I'm barely getting a signal.
Yeah.
And I'm like level 2 on the radio. You know what I mean? So I'm just hearing a little bit. Yeah. There's no one around. I'm by myself. I was working customer service at the time. And Howard Stern comes through and says something along the lines like, a plane has just hit one of the buildings at the World Trade.
Yeah.
Right? I'm listening to this broadcast live because I don't have any TVs. So for those listening, yes, it's the morning of 9/11. And this is how I'm a young guy in the Air Force. I think I was maybe like 22, 23 years old. And this is what I'm hearing. This is what I'm hearing on the radio. So I see like the lieutenant come in, and everybody's, folks are coming in and out. Mm-hmm. And now it's for real. Like now it's like, hey, now a second plane has hit. Because initially, one of my very first jobs was I was a messenger in New York City.
Oh, wow.
So I would go down to the World Trade all the time. I did messaging on a bike, and I was also like what they call like an executive messenger, where I would have to like sometimes they would want folks to come into these buildings that weren't like sweaty, because like you're on a bike, you got all this gear on, you look a little bugged out, like dropping off packages. But in any case, so I'm well aware with New York City, growing up in Brooklyn, right? Like that's my home, that's my backyard. So initially I'm thinking it was like a helicopter tour, and the helicopter maybe skimmed the building or something like that. Because remember, I don't have any visual. Like I haven't seen anything yet.
Yeah.
So I go out into the main waiting area of the hospital where I worked, and now I'm seeing the footage on the news. Now it's happening, right? I'm like, whoa.
On the TV.
So I go back to my office, and shortly after, the phone goes off, and they're like, hey, you need to send Airman Ortiz to the Security Forces shack, right? So they're like, hey, you got to go to Security Forces. Remember, I had just finished doing the augmentee training.
Yeah, so you hot.
You hot. So we went from Alpha to Delta in a matter of seconds.
Yeah.
Right? Whole base is locked down. Now we have perimeters within the base, right? So you can't just drive to the flight line. You got to go through. Now we're doing checkpoints and all this stuff. So I show up to Security Forces. There's a line out into the parking lot. So I park and I get online. And as I'm online, when we get to pretty much the end of it, it's pretty much like the warehouse, and they're handing us helmet, flag vest, M16, and then they're pairing us up with another Security Forces, like a real beret wearing dude, right? Me and the dude that I get paired up with had some drama over some girl.
What?
Yes, bro. What? Right? Yeah. So, but here's the thing, right? This is the beauty. This is the beauty of being a professional, Sid. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Listen, all of that little nonsense, all of that staring at each other in the club and all that, that's gone.
Yeah.
Right?
It's about business.
It's about business. You're wearing the uniform. I'm wearing the uniform. Mm-hmm. And this is what we're doing. So he was Mike 1. So I'm sitting with him for 12 hours. Probably more than 12 hours.
Yeah, probably about 14.
Right?
13, yeah.
This is 9/11, bro. This is we're under attack. Mm-hmm. So lo and behold, by the end of that shift, me and him are best friends.
Wow.
We're best friends. And I was an augmentee for 9 months. Right? Yeah. So I was a Security Forces augmentee for 9 months. So every time I run into my friends that are Security Forces, I'm quick to be like, yo, I was a cop. I was Security Forces,
9 months. Yeah. 9 months you get a beret.
Yeah. But it pisses people off though. You know what I mean? Yeah. But no, man, it definitely gave me a different level of respect for a different career field that I did not really understand and just the amount of teamwork, work ethic, just the whole thing, right? Like being embraced into a totally, because here's the other thing, right? Because they quickly understood how vital it was to have this third string come on board. You know what I mean? When it came to figuring out schedules and giving people because we worked for almost a month straight with no days off.
Oh yeah.
Right? Until they could figure out, a battle rhythm or so. But
work, they call it a work rest cycle.
Yeah. And once we figured that out, it was good. But where were you on 9/11?
I was in Grand Forks, North Dakota, bro.
Grand Forks, North Dakota.
Yep, about let me see, about an hour from Winnipeg, Canada. Probably about 3 hours from Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Was that your first base?
That was my first yard. Yep. That was my first yard. So I was actually new on my Security Forces flight is what they call it back in those days. And everything was chill, man. We was working a night shift. I was on a night shift. So when 9/11 happened that morning, I was just getting off of work. I had got off at 6, did my little routine, ate a light breakfast. I'm getting in my bed, getting ready to go to sleep and wake up for the next shift. About an hour and a half into sleeping, when I think it's 8 o'clock is when everything really started, when it kicked off and it got on TV about 8:05, 8:10.
Well, because where you were probably like an hour or two behind.
Yeah, I'm Central Standard Time.
Right.
In North Dakota.
Yeah.
So I think it was 9 o'clock on the East Coast.
Yeah.
It's 8 o'clock for me.
Right.
So
yeah, so it's kicking off.
So it's kicking off. You know, I just get into that sleep where you're not really asleep yet. You're just kind of going back and forth. And I get a boom, 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 boom on my door, and you know, it's the dorm chief, it's the dorm leader. It's, you know, people are going through the hallways mad.
Yeah.
So they rush into the day room. I'm like, yo, what's going on? I rush into the day room. Everybody's in the day room, and then you see one of the planes going into the building. Boom! While everybody's in the day room just watching the TV that's in the day room inside the dorm. About 10 minutes after that, one of the master sergeants or something came running through the hallway. The next thing you know, we were all getting back, dressed up, going to get our weapons, and, you know, going from Alpha to Delta. Wow. Which is increased posting. We went from about 15 people a day on shift till about like 80 people for one shift.
For one shift.
Yeah, because now you increase posts on important buildings and
right.
Yeah, and different. You got perimeters inside the base and different things, and that's when you guys come along as augmentees, and you know, we reinforce the game. I just want to make one note. Jay-Z Blueprint album dropped on that same day. Shout out to people who went to Best Buy and got that album.
Listen, let's get into that. Let's get into that.
Because I was one of those people. Even after I got off shift, I still had to go get Blueprint. But yeah, that's how it went down. And like you were saying, like I think for the next, that put us in. Before that all happened, we were in 8-hour shifts of 4 and 4. That right there started my career. I'd never seen an 8-hour shift after that. That was my first 12. 9/11 was my first, I didn't say 12. It was about 15 hours. And then I never saw a regular 8-hour shift till then. I was always in 12s. 12 is all I knew for my whole entire career after that day.
Wow.
Yeah, so that kind of changed a lot of dynamics on how we do business. And but you get used to it, but it burns you out, bro. It burns you out.
Yeah.
12 for us is about 14 and a half.
Yep.
Just if you guys don't know.
Yep.
A 12-hour shift, you got to add 2 hours for equipment and turn in and different things like that on the back and the front.
Yeah. Vehicle swap.
Yep.
Yeah.
Equipment swap.
Guard mount.
Yep. So it's about a 14 and a half hour day. You say 12, but you're really on the hook for about 14 and a half.
Tell me what guard mount is, like, for the folks who are listening who don't know.
Oh, man. So guard mount is the preparation for the shift, man. Guard mount is the inspection. It's the schedule. It's the priorities for the day. Guard mount is a tradition that's held high in our career field, in the security force career field. But it's where you go get important information for the day, any pass-ons, any things going on with cars and things going on with posts, and you kind of get your information from there. But it's one of the most important parts of the day because as a young guy back in those days, I'm a sharp guy when it comes to clothing and different things like that. Well, I had a uniform just for guard mount with creases and starch and my boots and everything. And if they had a uniform inspection, most of the time they did. Whoever had the sharpest uniform, they sent them back home. So I got sent back home a couple of times. This is good.
Yeah.
It was cool to do that. But yeah, after guard mount, I would take off that guard mount uniform, and then I would bust into my real uniform and my real boots. But yeah, I had a guard mount uniform. That's where you come, you get sharp. Everybody's sharp, haircut, boots shining. I know you guys don't shine your boots no more, but we should shine boots back then. And we get in there creased out. You get in there, that crease is nice. You stand in there, everything looks sharp. You might be going home that day or going to work looking sharp, one or the other.
I gotta tell you, I miss those.
Yeah. No doubt.
And I miss that uniform too.
Oh yeah,
that BDU uniform.
That's my favorite.
I
got on some BDU shorts right now. By the way, shout out to the cats that's still in that. We're still remember the BDUs.
Yeah.
Shout out to y'all, man.
yeah, there's a few of us left.
It's a few of us left. But
no, man, that was definitely that was the uniform that I came into was the BDU.
No doubt.
And I remember shining my boots. I remember you could also you could drop off your boots.
Oh yeah. Depending on where you was at. Yeah.
You could drop off your boots, and there was like a little spot you could drop them off and then pick them up, and and they were gold, they were crispy, like
that was the
mirrors.
That was the cheating method. I was in the room with the cotton balls and the lighters, and I used to get it in parade gloss. Shout out to the parade gloss guys.
Yeah. Did you have the gun? Did you have like the lighter gun?
I don't even think those was out yet, bro. I had like a Bic lighter, one of those lighters that you light blunts with.
Really? So you would light the bottom of the can,
joining, like the bottom of the can melted, then you hit the lighter on the toe, kind of get the wax in there, wax it down, water, cotton ball, repeat the process. Yeah, man, that's a talent. Yeah, that's a talent, bro.
But you know what it also did too, man. It also this is, for me, it's obvious. For others, it may not be obvious, but it was the level of pride that you took in your uniform.
Hit it right on the nose, man.
You know what I mean? Like if you saw someone with their boots shined, and you're like, man, like, okay, he's like, it just spoke volumes about how your character, right? Or how you handled business too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yep. One of those things is that I think as far as it comes, and not just speaking military, but civilian, how you present yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Before you even open your mouth and speak, your clothing, how you present yourself, clean shaven, haircut, all that stuff is very important. And then in the military, it's really important. But yeah, I was always sharp, man. I got my uniforms tailored. I was always like I'll buy a uniform, get everything sewed on, and then get it tailored like if it was a suit, like if it was a custom suit.
Right. Yeah,
I would get it tailored like it was a custom suit. But I took pride in my stuff, man.
So where do you go after like Grand Forks?
Oh man, after Grand Forks, I go to I get my first taste of the nuclear enterprise in Incirlik Air Base, Turkey.
Whoa.
That was my first time in Turkey. And I got, I kind of went from one extreme to the other. And there, we're dealing with the nuclear enterprise is a whole nother, it's a whole nother beast or animal or operations temple, as what they want to call it. But yeah, that was interesting. But for some reason, I went to Turkey 3-4 times in my career.
Whoa.
Yeah, I spent a lot. In 20 years, I probably spent about 4.5 years there in Turkey, from the northern part to the southern part, and then everything in between. I feel like I know the country like the back of my hand. Shout out to my Turkish people out there, man. I love y'all, man.
Oh man, did you?
Nasılsın? Nasılsın? Yeah.
What does that mean?
That means what's going on with you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That means what's going on with you. But I spent a lot of time there. A lot of time in Turkey, a lot of good food, a lot of good relationships, and I still know a lot of good people there.
What do you think would be I don't know, culturally? What are the things that that you experienced culturally that you were maybe surprised about or made an impression on you?
They're very welcoming people when it comes to their establishments and their homes. The minute you walk in their home, they're already offering you tea, already offering you drinks, already offering you food without even saying hi or what's going on. Even when you walk into one of their establishments, the first thing you do is, before you even talk about anything, they say, "Hey man, come, you want some tea?" They're very welcoming people, very warm people, and that's just culturally how they are as a people. They just very welcoming people. Yeah. So, and even I got a spot that's close by my house now. That's they're Turkish and they're the same exact way. I talk Turkish with them. And anyway, shout out to On the Grill in Delran, New Jersey. I see y'all. Halal spot.
I'm gonna have to go there with you.
Yeah,
come on, let's go have lunch or something.
Yeah, that's my spot.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. Yeah. So throughout your 20-year career, you went there four different times?
Yeah, no, I was there 3 different times, but all together probably about 4.5 years.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. What was your first deployment?
First deployment was, what was my first deployment? Ali Al Salim, Kuwait, 2004 to 2005.
Wow, a whole year?
Yeah. No, 6 months.
6 months. 6 months. Right. Okay.
Right in between, yeah.
But hang on a second. So earlier in the conversation, you mentioned that you had a son.
I did.
Right?
I did, yeah.
So how old is your son? When was your son born?
My son was born while I was in basic training, bro.
Whoa.
Yeah, so my son, I graduated basic training. I got the basic training in October. My son was born that same October. So you know how they get you the phone call in the booth? My phone call in the booth was to his mom, like, yo, is he okay? What's going on? So my son was born while I was in basic training. Nas. Shout out to Nas, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's your son's name? Nas?
Yeah, Nasan, yeah. Yeah. So that was an experience too. But yeah, he that really opened my eyes, man, as a parent,
Okay.
And then being in basic training while you having a child is just something on another level.
Yeah. And you're a young guy, right? You're like, what, you said 20?
Yeah, I'm like 20. I'm like 19 going on 20, bro. I'm like young.
Yeah.
Super young.
Yeah, we joined at around the same age. Like, I was 21 when I joined.
Mm-hmm.
I was 21.
Yep.
So, man, that's wild.
Yep.
So you have a kid. So while you're in basic training,
I have a son.
you have a son. So there's no, for the most part, some people have a safety net or whatever the case may be. You're like, nah, man, like there's no safety net for me. Like I got responsibilities. I gotta get through this.
Yep. So my mom, shout out to my mom. Shout out to, Nas's mom as well. Her family. They really did a good job while I was doing this Air Force thing and this basic training thing, they were, holding it down, this, that, and the third. And, they did good, They did a good job. Proud of them. Really appreciate them.
So how old is your son now? My public math is horrible.
Bro, 22 years old. My son is grown, bro. 22 years old. Man. Yeah, 22 years old. He's
what are the conversations with him like now? Like what's a conversation with a 22-year-old?
It's with him is a little bit different because my son is special needs. So he's autistic. He has intellectual delays and developmental delays and different things like that. But he's good. He's a solid kid. He loves well. He loves hard. But he's got a. Every time you see him, anybody who knows him, they always see him smiling.
Wow.
Always. You're always gonna see him smiling. But he's a really good kid, man. He's good to be around and.
Really?
He keeps me really busy, yeah. Now that I'm retired, I'm like his personal Uber driver.
For real?
Yeah, I'm his personal Uber driver. He goes in the bins everywhere.
So he's just 3-star now.
Yeah, he's my 3-star. Yeah, he's my 3-star. Pretty much. That's exactly what he is, bro. It's the same. It's the same. That's what he does. His basketball, his swimming, his gospel music, his everything that he does is, my life revolves around that.
So he lives with you?
Yeah, he lives with me, yeah.
Wow. So do you have any other kids?
No, that's it. That's him. And then my fiance, she has 2 girls as well. So
wow, so you're raising girls as well.
I'm raising girls as well, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Man, so what's that like?
That's interesting. One is on her way to college next year.
Wait. Shit. Come on. Time this out.
So one is on her way to college, and the other one is about 12. She's 12, and this generation, Gen Z, they're different, bro. They are very different, but they're good kids.
Right.
They're good kids. They're respectable. As long as you're leading them in the right direction. But they're Gen Z. They're Gen Z. You know what I'm saying? So like they're the way they think is, I need to have it in the instant.
Yeah.
And the way you type in Google to look for something, that's how quick they want to have it. When it comes to the things in life and what they looking for, and that's a whole nother comment.
Yeah. No. I mean, hey, we're here. I'm here for all of it.
Yeah. So,
I'm here for all of it.
As somebody who's old school and traditional, it takes some getting used to.
Okay.
As a parent.
Okay.
It takes some getting used to. You got to make them. You want to make sure they know that they have to earn things. Everything is not given.
It's not given.
And as a parent, you have to find that balance. That balance to say, I want my kids to have a good life, but I'm not going to give you everything you need,
right.
Even if I can.
Right.
You're still going to have to earn some stuff. So, as long as you can walk that line with that generation, you can get them on the right path. But if you give, and they don't earn anything, oh Lord.
brother.
Woo!
So you know, you haven't. I don't know that you've met my daughter yet, but I have a 5-year-old, and my thoughts are exact with that, right? Because listen, we just really give her, in my opinion, way too much.
A lot, yeah.
You know, I don't know how good or bad it's gonna be. I really don't. I don't know. Like, am I just setting myself up for something just awful down the line, or she's the only child. We had her late. Yeah. We speak to her as if, I speak to her as like she's like a big kid, or folks say, oh, I speak to them like she's an adult. No, you don't. You talk to adults differently. Yeah. But I get it. Like, you speak to them on a different level, right? You don't baby them. And I'm big on that, right? Like, talking to my daughter, explaining things to her, taking out the time to do that. But we do give her a lot, man.
Yeah.
We give her a lot. Like, so my daughter loves Chinese food. My daughter's a big foodie, bro.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and for me, I've, that's been intentional for me to expose her to different kind of cuisines and foods and that kind of thing, because it's something that in the military was offered. Here's the thing, right? So, I am extremely grateful for all of the experiences that I've had within the military, within the Air Force. Mm-hmm. It totally got me out of, my box. Yeah. Right.
Absolutely.
So just learning about different people, cultures, and not just different countries within the Air Force. You know what I mean? Within the folks that I work with, and listen, I'll go into that a whole little later. But what I'm getting at is that I just noticed that with my travels, Europe, Japan, Korea, Italy, Spain, Africa, right? All these different places. And just being exposed to culture, being exposed to different foods. And, when I go into a room, any kind of room, I don't care who's in the room, and I just have a certain level of confidence about myself, because I know what I bring. I know what I've been exposed to. And quickly, folks can relate. They see it, right? They see the energy that you're putting off. So for my daughter, it was important for me to expose her, because I feel like I was told once that exposure equals expansion. Mm-hmm. So for me and my daughter, it's all about, what can I expose her to? How much can I expose her to? You don't know what she's going to gravitate to. You don't know what she's going to catch on to. But in my mind, Sid, I want to expose it to as much as possible. So the dude, the male or female that catches her heart, they're gonna have to come correct.
Oh yeah, they're gonna have to come with their stuff together,
right?
Because she's saying it all.
Yeah, she's like, listen, that shit don't impress me, right? So that's, it goes a little bit deeper with me, right? But in any case, as far as like exposing her to like different foods and that kind of thing, that's just been important to me. I lost my train of thought. I don't know exactly where I was. I don't even know where that started from.
They're gonna have to come correct, because she knows a lot. She's seen a lot.
Going back to raising the kids, and going back to the fact that I feel like we give her, or we provide her quite a bit, right? So, again, she's the only child. I don't know if we're doing it the right way. I don't know if we're doing it the right way. Everyone who in our family and our close friends and so forth, and even her teachers, right? They have these compliments about her. So that reinstates for me, you're kind of doing the right thing. But kids, man, you have no clue. You have no clue what they're going to get into, what they're going to be, what they're going to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, I know what I was going to tell you, Sid. So my daughter's into Chinese food. There's a Chinese restaurant close by, but we have to drive to it because the one in town, food is trash.
Yeah.
in my opinion. So we drive out a little bit further to get listen, it's not New York City Chinese food. It ain't Philly Chinese food.
Let me get 4 chicken wings, fried hard, and fried rice.
Bro, I had that the other night. You know that's my go-to. That's
a New York staple right there.
You know that's my go-to.
The chopped cheese and then 4 chicken wings, fried rice.
Fried hard. So to pull out of the Chinese restaurant, I have to kind of like pull into this parking lot and then come back out. So when I pull into this parking lot, there's this huge laundromat, right? My daughter's like super inquisitive. She's like, Daddy, why do they have so many washing machines in there? And I'm like, baby, that's a laundromat. She's like, the next thing, what's a laundromat? So I started explaining to her what a laundromat is, right? And she's like, have you ever been in a laundromat? And I'm like, yeah, I've been in a laundromat. When Daddy lived in Brooklyn, way before you, Daddy would have to go with, Grandma Sarah, and we would have to go wash our clothes. And she's like, huh? Like my daughter was, so now
oblivious.
The questions are coming. Yeah. So Dad,
good though.
Dad,
good that inquisitive is good.
Right? Mm-hmm. She's like, Dad, you didn't have a washer and dryer in your house? No, baby. Daddy didn't live in a house. Yeah. Daddy lived in the projects. Daddy lived in Howard Projects in Brownsville.
Shout out to MOP.
Yo,
if you listen. Shout out to MOP if you listen.
Yo, shout out to MOP. Shout out to Mike Tyson. Sid, do you know anything about Brownsville in terms of like the history of Brownsville?
The history, not too much. The only thing I know about Brooklyn is more of Williamsburg, Flatbush, Barclays Center. Like I know that Brooklyn. I don't know like the East New York Brooklyn.
Right. Yeah. So Brownsville, in the 40s and 50s was a Jewish community.
Okay.
Right, all Jewish, and I might get killed in the comments for this because I'm just going off of what it is I've been exposed to and what I feel I know.
Yeah.
Correct me in the comments. I don't care. So slowly the community starts to become an African American community, right? And slowly the Jewish folks start moving out to East New York. Where you get like the Jewish mafia, where you get Murder Incorporated. Yeah. Because actually
you're talking about like the flatlands.
Yes.
The flatlands and about Coney Island, out a little towards outside of Coney Island, but like like that part of Brooklyn, like
no, because that would be I know where you're going.
Yeah.
So anyone who knows Brownsville or how it looks, Google it. Some fun facts about Brownsville. Murder capital of I don't even know for how long. No, like right across, so like Jamaica Avenue, going out towards like East New York, New Lots, Jerome, Utica.
Yeah.
Going out like that way. So from what I understand, the Jewish community moved out that way because Brownsville slowly started turning into an African American community. So I grew up all over Brooklyn. We were transient. We were poor. We were on welfare. You know what I mean? But I remember when we got the apartment in Howard Projects. I remember like it was the other day because we stayed in we were in a shelter out in Far Rockaway shout out to Far Rock. We were in a shelter in Far Rockaway on 116th Street, Beach 116th. And we lived in what they considered a welfare hotel. And it was temporary until they got you permanent housing. So that took about 2.5 years. And then eventually we ended up getting our apartment. And my mom, she was... So my mom was a recovering heroin addict, and she was on methadone, and she would have to go to Kings County Hospital to get her methadone. It was like every other day. So the bus that would take her directly to the hospital ran along, basically stopped right in front of our projects. So that's why she settled on those projects. Not knowing, brother, listen to me. So if you go out buy a house now, right? You go to the house in the morning, you go there in the evening, you scope out your...
Scope out the scene.
Scope out the scene.
Yeah.
We didn't have that luxury.
No.
The bus stops here. Oh, this is where we're living. This is where we're going to live. And whatever comes with it, we're just going to deal with it. So a predominantly black neighborhood, right? But remember, I've grown up all over Brooklyn. So by the time I feel like everything that happened prior was a basic training.
Preparing you. Preparation. Yeah.
All basic training. All a fundamental training aspect. Now we get to Brownsville. Now I'm roughly like 12 years old. It's the operational.
Yeah.
It's, brother, you want to talk.
Survival skills is activated.
100%. 100%. When you talk about, street smarts, situational awareness, I was already kind of like prepped already. But now I get to Brownsville, I get to Howard Project, and now I have to implement those skills.
Yeah.
And, for anybody who's listening, the mid-90s, Brownsville, Howard Projects, Suffalo, Tilden, Marcus Garvey, absolute war zone.
And they're all right across the street from each other.
They're all right across the street from each other.
They're all right next to each other.
And these are buildings that, Howard Projects themselves, the projects that I grew up in, I want to say we had roughly 12 to 14 buildings. We had tall buildings that went up to like roughly 15 to 16 floors. And then we had smaller buildings, but that were wider, and those went up to like 7 floors. I want to say 7. Listen, you go do the math, but like you have all, now mind you, that's just one project. Within a 2-mile radius, we have roughly 8 different projects.
Yeah, right there.
Right there. Yeah. So, going back to my daughter in the washing the clothes, right? So I'm explaining to her, like, no, like we didn't have a washer and dryer. We would have to carry our clothes to the laundromat. That was, I don't know how much you can relate to that, Sid, but that was like an all day thing.
Yeah.
Like
my mom still uses a laundromat.
Yeah. So you're there all day.
Yeah.
Like,
it's a whole day. It's a whole Sunday. It's a whole Sunday.
Yeah. You get there early.
Yeah.
You're at that time, no cell phone or anything like that. My mom was a big reader. My mom would, she would read the newspaper. My mom would read the New York Times, the entire New York Times from front to back. She was a heavy reader, bro. Like she would read the whole thing, and she just had like all this knowledge. And it was, you always wonder, like, why was she like so articulate, so smart? It was the reading. She was reading so much. You know what I mean? But no. So trying to explain this to my daughter, and then also at the same time, as I'm explaining it to her, now I'm reflecting. It's coming back. So kids are a blessing, man.
Yeah.
Kids are a blessing. And blessings to you and your family.
Thank you, brother. Same to you.
You have those are 2 different areas. 3 different, right? Because you have an adult son.
Yep.
You have a younger, and you have a middle one.
Yeah.
And you're dealing with the social media.
Man, yeah, that's big for them. That social media, it's not really important for us, but for them, it's what their life. They live in more of in the social media world, as far as we live in the more reality. You know what I'm saying? As far as, they live in more, social media is their reality. Well, so, it takes some getting used to when it comes to them. But, sometimes you have to break it down and understand them and make them feel the real world. You know what I mean? And get rid of the phone for a second.
Yeah.
I want to show you what's going on out here. You know what I mean? Right. And bring them back down to a level that they can actually understand something without seeing it through a phone. Because I think that's what the big thing is. They seen phones and screens all their life. When you put it right in front of their face and show them, hey, this is a soup kitchen. This is a laundromat. You know, this is somebody who's addicted to a substance. These are what these people look like. You know what I mean? This is what this kind of housing, and it kind of gives them a gratitude of, you know, where they're at currently in their life. So, but yeah, it's different. It's challenging. It could be challenging for people who can't, you know, grasp it.
How did you, Sid? How did you navigate yourself being a young guy in the military, having a child with special needs? I mean, am I saying it right?
Yeah, please. No, you're absolutely right.
Right?
You're absolutely right.
How do you figure it out? How do you
Oh man, it's literally trial and error. And I'm gonna tell you, I'll break it down for you. You know, from about 2000 up until 2015, I was kind of like the single guy. You know what I mean? I'll go home, check on my son, check on my mom, check on all my family members and friends and all that. Then I'll go back, you know, to wherever I was stationed at the time and do what I had to do and take care of business. You know, one day in 2015, I got a phone call, you know, saying that my son was in custody of the state of New Jersey. You know, I won't get into too much details, but you know, something happened with his mom, and she ended up losing custody of him, which prompted me to take action from Hawaii all the way in New Jersey, and it was pretty much trial and error. You know, with a lot of support with guys in my unit, like my first sergeants and my commanders, and kind of being transparent and understanding the situation. You know, I had to get an emergency assignment and get out to New Jersey as fast as possible, and handle business. But prior to that, I was literally flying back and forth from Honolulu to Atlantic City for custody court. I was, I was against the state. I was against her. I went to court between 2015 and 2018. I went to court about 20 times for custody of my son. And I flew from Hawaii about 4 or 5 times until I got my assignment approved to come to New Jersey.
Get out of here, man.
Yeah, so it's a lot of trial and error that comes with it. But you know, you like you say, you read, you understand. You know, you just gotta be very good at articulating yourself when it comes to those kind of things, because like you and I both know, the system is not for fathers; it's more for mothers. So, you know, when you have to know what you're talking about, know what you're doing, you know, and have a good support system along the way.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And, you know, I'm very thankful for my guys at my leadership in Honolulu from 2015 to 2016, 17, and the leadership at Vandenberg at the Cop Squadron. You guys did a good job, man.
Wow.
And that's why I'm here today, just to
shout out to those guys.
Shout out to those guys, man. Yeah. You know who you are.
Wow.
But yeah, you know, it's very challenging. It's a lot of things that people won't tell you. And you just got to go out there and dig and find out the information in the process, you know. Yeah, because it doesn't happen like overnight.
So, let me try to understand a little bit.
Yeah.
So at the time you're in Honolulu, you're in Hawaii. You were probably at Hickam.
Hickam, yeah.
So you're at Hickam. Your son, your wife, your ex-wife, or your ex?
They were never married.
Right.
Never married.
So the mother, his mom, has what, 100% custody?
She has, full custody.
Full custody.
Full custody, yep.
Okay, so your son's mom has full custody. You're in the military, active duty.
Yep.
You're stationed in Hawaii. You get notified that she's lost custody.
Yep. I get notified by the state of New Jersey, DIFUS. What's it called? What's acronym for DIFUS? I don't know.
Shit, you got me.
You guys know the CPS guys. The CPS.
Shout out to DIFUS. I don't ever want to meet you guys, but I know they do important work.
They're doing
For sure.
very
You're
important
right.
work. Good people.
Yeah, we've considered. We are considering fostering.
Yeah, no doubt.
We're considering fostering. We had my daughter late, so the pretty much we probably won't end up having any other children naturally or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I do feel,
Thing to foster.
yeah, man, I do feel like we have a lot to give. But that's a little bit. Let me not go off track. So you get notified, and you're in Hawaii. What are you doing in Hawaii? You chilling out? Like you surfing?
I'm actually working.
You surfing?
I'm actually working with Obama. I'm actually working with Obama.
Come on, bro, stop.
I'm actually working with Obama. I'm working with the 7th Air Force, PACAF, Hickam headquarters. He would come there. I was responsible for the airfield. So he would come there with his jets and cars and all these different things for Christmas vacation. And I was the person that's responsible for his access on the airfield and where he puts all his stuff on the airfield in Hawaii. I was another cool thing you get to do when you're security forces. But I was like when his Air Force One lead would come in, they would have to come see me for access to the airfield so he could park Air Force One and all those different things. That was my job in Hawaii. So I'm there, just hanging out, kicking it, doing what I do. And I get this call from I want to say, I don't know if it was my first sergeant at the time or I got a call from my mom. Somebody gave me a call and told me what was going on back in Jersey. And then from there, that's when it all kind of kicked off. That's when it all was like, all right, I got to get home. I got to make sure my son is good. My mom, she got him temporarily until I could figure everything else out. And then once I got it figured out, I was like, all right, let me get closer to him. So I went from Hawaii to California. And then from California, I finally won custody. And then,
Hold on. So, Sid, so you go from Hawaii to California.
Yeah.
Where do you go to? What?
Vandenberg.
The Vandenberg.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So while this is happening, you ultimately end up getting custody of your son.
Yeah. So when I got to Vandenberg, I explained the situation. The only reason I was coming up on my end of tour in Hawaii, and the assignment list came down. I was trying to get to New Jersey from there. It was like the closest we can get you is to Vandenberg. I said I'll take Vandenberg because that's gonna save me maybe about $800 on a flight versus flying from Honolulu to New Jersey.
Yeah,
California to New Jersey would be a lot cheaper. So I got to Vandenberg. I was probably there for about 4 months and then I moved into my apartment in California, bought a car, all kinds of stuff. I'm getting settled into work, and I'm but at the same time, I'm going back and forth from New Jersey, and then it finally got approved. My leadership was good. They was like, "Yo, let us know. I know the time zones is crazy, but if we got to make some important phone calls, let's do it." And they put the wheels in motion. I was in Jersey in about 4 months. Yeah, it was a process, bro. It's a process.
Man,
it's a process,
brother. So do you meet your wife? Like,
so I'm still single at this point.
Okay.
Me and my fiance at the time, she's living in Maryland. Her and her girls, they're doing their thing down there. I tell her, I say, hey, I'm coming to New Jersey. Me and Hassan, we're gonna make a foundation down here in South Jersey. If you want to come up and we can make this thing work out, let's make it work out. And she ended up moving up, and then we got settled in and blended the family.
Oh.
So we went from I went from a single guy to a guy with a son to a guy with 5 people in the house. But
that's man.
yeah.
That is, bro. If this table wasn't here, I'd be hugging you left, right, and sideways. So that's beautiful, Sid.
That's how it worked out, man.
That's beautiful, brother.
Yep. Then New Jersey. Shout out to the EFMP people at McGuire. You guys do an amazing job over there. They helped me get my son situated when we got in town and when we got to the base, and they kind of acted as liaison and show me the different routes, because that's what they do. That's what they're known for there. That's the reasons why they wanted to get me to New Jersey. Vandenberg couldn't provide that service. They got me there. He was already in Atlantic City, and it just kind of came together.
Man, that's
Man,
great, man.
so
That's beautiful.
that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
That is legit beautiful.
Yeah, so everything ended up working out.
Man.
Yeah. But it was a process, bro. I make it sound like it was easy, but there's a lot of people involved in this whole thing.
I could only imagine.
From my immediate support system, to my fiance, her support system, to my immediate leadership at the time. You know what I mean? There's a lot of players involved around this whole process. But it worked out.
Man.
Yeah, man.
That's beautiful though, dude.
Salute to y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%, man.
100%.
Man, I'm just absorbing the whole thing because
trust me, it's not normal. It's very unorthodox as far as how it went down. A lot of people go through custody shit and different special needs with children, different things like that. It's kind of like, all right, that's how we're going to do it. With me being in the military, with me being so far, it's a lot of unorthodox things and that's happening behind the scenes.
Yeah. How'd you meet your lady?
Man, we met in Delaware while I was stationed at Dover. Back in 2003.
2003?
Yeah, back in 2003. So, and then we, just kept in contact and kind of stood abreast with each other, what was going on, what we had going on in life. We seen an opportunity to take advantage of the opportunity. So we was like, man, let's see if we can make it work this time.
How'd you guys keep in contact? And I know that sounds like silly, but just...
Man, like text, hey, where you at in the world right now? Oh, I'm in Europe. I'm in Greenland. I was in Greenland for a year.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm in UK. I'm in UK for 3 years. We just, we kind of just kept in contact, kept abreast with each other. Hey, what's going on with your kids? My kids is cool. Your kids good. Just kind of kept abreast with each other. And then, we end up in the same proximity. It was just like, yo, what you doing? What you doing? All right, let's see. Let's make it work.
Man.
And that's how that's how the story was told. So,
man.
But yep.
Shout outs to her.
She's my aggravating.
Shout out to the missus.
Shout out to the missus. But yeah, man, it was cool, man. It worked out, man. The things that I experienced in the Air Force, even including that at the end of my career to the beginning of my career, so many life lessons are baked into that experience. It's ups and downs and rounds. And
I want to ask you something. It's a little bit more, I don't want to get too, I don't want to make it appear as if we're getting too serious because
yeah, no doubt.
I love this, what we're doing. Mm-hmm. So, as you start thinking about all these things that you were going through, right? Like that, like you need to understand, like for the folks that are listening, this is pretty heavy stuff, right?
Oh,
like you're in the military, you're active duty in the military, and you're stationed in Hawaii. You cannot just pick up and just say, "Hey, Air Force, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go over here," and that's not how it works. So there's a whole level of like communication.
Yeah.
Communicating through your chain of command, through your immediate supervisor. There's so many levels of people, right? That are involved in this.
Duty schedules, and you name it. It's all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
The reason why I'm saying this is because for a young person who's in the military right now, or who's in the Air Force right now, who may be experiencing the same sort of thing, but not know how to navigate it, right? What I'm getting at is that, for our younger generation of military service members, they need to know that they're supported.
Yeah, absolutely.
you may not know how to go about getting all of that support, but it's there for you.
Yep.
And I can't stress enough the importance of the chain of command.
Yep.
That's where it starts, with the chain of command. And the reason why I'm getting at this, Sid, is because right now we're experiencing unfortunate, call it levels, call it, metrics or whatever you want to call it, of young men and women taking their lives in the military.
Absolutely.
And even after their service, after the military, I'm not an expert in any frame or fashion, but I do have some sort of knowledge. Number one, as being a veteran. Number two, my current position, what my charge is as a first sergeant, right? So I'm in the trenches with this, right?
Absolutely.
So
hands-on.
I'm hands-on, right? So what I'm getting at is when things got difficult for you, because there isn't anything that you just told me that was easy. It may sound easy because we're drinking some Japanese whiskey and we're catching up.
Yeah.
But I know for the real, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
So my question to you is, and I don't want to sound repetitive, what helped you navigate? What helped you instill the level of resiliency needed to navigate that situation?
Oh man! So what I always fall back on when I was going through those different things, and like you were saying, like it's just being inquisitive to the process, right? And then when you run into a roadblock, digging deep and saying, this is what I need to do by any means necessary, and just being able to be flexible and just bounce off of, people that tell you can't do it or people that's against what's going on, just being strong within yourself, right? Because you're going to run into some brick walls. Especially, as me being a father, being in the military, one thing they told me was in the court was I wouldn't be able to be there for my son because I had an obligation to the military that would require me to travel anywhere at any given moments. And being that he has special needs, I had to dig deep and say, this is why I could be there for my son. This is why I had to break down those barriers, because those are barriers for me. If you don't know, like, the court system has barriers against fathers. They're more in tune to the mother as the caretaker, as the biological, whether she's fit or unfit. But that kind of atmosphere and that kind of ideology and that kind of mindset when it comes to the court system is going to create a brick wall from you. It's up to you to dig past that, dig deep and say, look, I'm going to make this happen by any means necessary. This is my blood. This is my life. This is my succession. I need to make this happen. And you got to dig deep and bounce off those brick walls and keep, when they come in front of you, move them out the way, Wow. But you do that with the support of people that's in your corner. You do that with your first sergeants. You navigate that with your supervisors. You navigate that with your commanders, the good ones, the good people. You navigate that with them, and they steer you in the right direction, and get you back on track. There was times where I say, I can't do this. Like I'm on a different time zone. You guys are like 5 hours ahead of me. I got to stay up till 3 o'clock in the morning just to call the court to be on hold for 2.5 hours, and like you gotta dig deep and know that you're doing it for a reason. Look at the long term. The purpose. It's a purpose behind this. And you dig deep. Discipline. And it'll work out. It'll work out.
Is there a moment that you can reflect on where something just came to you and you were just like, man, this was all worth it? Just the staying up till 3 a.m, the being on hold for 2 hours. This is why I did that.
I'm gonna tell you that moment happens all the time. Probably setting up the first week of having my son, setting up his room, setting up everything, you know what I mean? And just like, seeing that smile on his face and just, he's like, yo, this is everything that I needed. This is everything that I wanted. It's kind of like, that was the not the trade-off necessarily, but that was the feeling that you get, like, it took a lot of work for this. You might not know what this took, but this took a lot to make this happen. So that feeling right there, that was probably back in like 2017. And then, there's feelings where I see him with his friends and I see him out doing his sports and I see him doing different things and I just see the smile on his face. As a dad,
right,
you just be like, damn. Sometimes it like makes you want to feel like a tear shaking up. You be like, oh man, like, but this is what you work. This is what you work for. This is what the work is. You put in that kind of work and you pretty much navigate on the judicial side, family court side. You pretty much navigate it all by yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just reaching back to your support system and just saying, hey, this is what I need. This is the roadblock. Can you support me in that? All right, what you need? You got to leave in 2 hours to go to EWR. All right, go ahead, go. We'll find somebody to cover what's going on with this or what's going on with that, and
But listen, if this is too personal, just tell me. Be like, yo, Mach, let's just next subject or whatever it is, right? So you have full custody of your son. He lives with you.
Yeah.
What's his relationship with his mother now?
They have a pretty good relationship.
Okay.
He's actually coming around with her situation. She's starting to come around now and get back on track. So they have a good relationship now. I just wanted to get it where they're comfortable with each other, but they're kind of learning each other all over again. You know what I mean? They're kind of trying to establish a relationship with them all over. It's been 5-6 years now since I had him.
Wow.
He hasn't had any. He's just now starting to have contact with her.
Wow.
Within that, so she had some things that she had, some hurdles, some walls that she had to get across and battle with, and now they have a relationship and different things like that. So they're building it slowly.
Wow.
But it's coming along.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
That's man, I had no clue.
Yeah.
And why would I have a clue? Right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't know. It's not meant for me to know. You know what I mean? Sid, thank you for just making me aware,
no doubt.
Sharing this with me, but you're also sharing this with a lot of people. I don't know. I have no clue where this is going to go. I have no clue where Spark.N.Stride is going to go. I'm hoping that it grows. I'm hoping that it reaches millions, if not billions of people, but I have no idea, but thank you, man. Like,
no problem, man.
There's so many people that can relate to what you're talking about.
Yeah.
What you've experienced. What are some good days for you? What makes you happy? What does Sid do for his mental, stability? Like what's your USA? What's your
my USA right now? At the top of my list, just being able to share this kind of information prior to retirement. I was able to come across some young service members that were going through similar situations that I was able to help. And that just gave me a woo-saw that they had nobody that could turn to. I almost look at myself and I tell my lady this all the time, like a sacrificial lamb. Like I had to go through it to get the knowledge to put other people in a position to endure what they was going through. So that, but also now that I'm retired, is traveling, man. I like a 4-day getaway, to a nice little beach, and we plan to do that in Puerto Rico here shortly. Me and my son. Shout out to Nas. That's my getaway now, man. Travel, catch up with good people, good genuine people, and that's it pretty much, man. I just just be chilling, man.
I love watching you on Instagram. I love like I don't know if you have an eye for like. So for anyone listening or watching, MACH is figuring all of this out. Like I really have no clue what I'm doing. So I'm still trying to. So what I'm getting at is like when I see you on Instagram with your videos and your posts, and I'm like, man, I gotta get Sid. Sid gotta teach me some of this, man. This is what's up. Like
it's just all natural, bro. It's just out having a good time, catching up with good people, listening to good music. I can't wait to bring you on a trip with us. We are me, you, and Trez overdue for a trip.
Big time.
Shout out to
Trez.
Shout out to Trez. We overdue for a trip. And we're gonna make that happen. Hopefully this summer, because the weather's coming back around. It's 90 degrees today outside.
Yeah.
But we definitely do for some good music.
Listen,
some good drinks and a nice rooftop somewhere.
Hey,
so
don't threaten me with a good time. And you know, if it's Puerto Rico, you know, papi hablas español. I do all of that, papa. You know what I mean? Like,
I haven't been to San Juan since I don't show my age, but I don't know if y'all remember Hurricane Andrew. That's the last time I've been to Puerto Rico. So I need to get back there. I want to touch base with my family, and let's do it, man. Wepa.
Yo, Sid, I know it sounds like we're ending the podcast, but we're not. We're gonna
run through this whole bottle. I might be on the couch in a minute.
Hey, listen. Mi casa, su casa, man.
Yeah, no doubt,
you know?
no doubt.
Cheers to you, my brother.
Cheers
Thank
to
you.
Man.
So let me see. I want to ask you something.
Mm-hmm.
So on the blueprint,
okay,
back on 9/11.
Yeah. Ooh.
Do you remember what that was like when you went to go purchase the? Because I remember exactly where I was when I heard the blueprint.
All right, so let me rewind a little bit about the blueprint, because I want to tell you. So 9/11, I got off that shift. It's just coming back to me. I go to Best Buy, and I'm in the parking lot. They open at 10.
Mm-hmm.
We're on Central Standard Time. Somehow, I don't know how I made it off base. It might have been the next day or on 9/11. But I went and got the physical copy. The physical copy of an album with the lyrics on the back, with the engineers, with the producers and all that stuff. I had to go to Best Buy and get the actual physical copy because I need that pamphlet. I need to know who did what, who's responsible for what. That I'm just, in the details like that.
Hey, listen, but respectfully, there was no other way for you to get it.
There was no other way for me to get it because there was.
You're making it sound as if there was an alternative. There's no alternative.
I had to go get it.
No, you go buy the album, and all of that is in the album. Is on the
the pamphlet.
The pamphlet. You pull out the pamphlet, and all that stuff is in there.
All the stuff is in there. Yeah. So
shout out to Hove.
Shout out to Hove, man. You dropped that on the same day, which was a significant day in history. But the blueprint is a classic. But yeah, man.
What stood out to you about the blueprint?
Oh man, so I want to say at first, where I come from, New Jersey anyway, we know Hove for the flashy Hove. I think with the blueprint and different things like that, he went down to a deeper, darker side, and still keeping and it was just it's a classic. I mean.
100%.
100% is 100%. It's going to live. I got Reasonable Doubt over Blueprint, but Blueprint is still a classic.
The Gift and the Curse is for me. That's where it's at.
I remember when me and you met. He had Kingdom Come. That was the Kingdom Come album. I remember the first time hearing Kingdom Come was in your room in Korea. We listened to Kingdom Come.
For real?
Yeah, we listened to Kingdom Come, and then we listened to your homie from Brooklyn,
Moreno.
We listened to him too in your room before the pregame, the pregame to the Lauren.
So to the Lauren.
To the Lauren.
All right, we're gonna tell people what the Lauren is, but hang on a second. Hang on. So I'm gonna share something with you. I don't know if you know this or not. So I met you in December. Mm-hmm. No, it might have been November.
It was cold. I know that.
It might have been November. And the reason, this is why I'm telling you this. So my grandmother passed away while I was in Korea. So I get an email from my cousin, who's like my sister. Her name is Jackie. So Jackie sends me an email. She's like, yo, I hate to say this to you over email, but grandma passed away. You need to call home. So I call home. She gives me the info.
Mm-hmm.
Like my grandmother raised me, right?
Mm.
So I'm distraught. Like I'm just crushed.
That's Wita.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Spanish families,
yeah.
y'all know.
So my grandmother, we called her Chepa. That was her. Chepa was, bro, like our everything, right? Mm-hmm. So my cousin gives me this info. I reach out to my supervisor. We call the first sergeant. First sergeant comes within 24 hours. And I don't remember his name. Like I apologize for that. But I'm just going to tell you that there are some good people, and there are the right people in the right positions at the right time. And this dude, first sergeant, I'm going to get his name. Yeah. I'm going to track him down. I promise you. And I'm going to thank him for what he did. But ultimately, he got me on a plane within 24 hours. So within 24 hours, I am heading back to the States, right? Yeah. So while I was gone, we took my grandmother to Puerto Rico. We buried her and so forth. But anyway, I made my way back to New York City and got fresh as hell. Like, yeah, no doubt. All the drip, like as much as I could, like, as much as I could put in my bag. So when I get back, and with that, I went and saw Moreno.
Where you go get your drip from?
Bro, at that time,
the Boulevard.
Bro, I was on. Hang on a second.
Concourse.
No, I was on Picken. I was on Belmont. I was on 125th.
Okay.
And I went up to Fordham Road, and on Fordham Road,
shout out to Fordham Road, Grand Concourse.
Shout out to Fordham Road. So on Fordham Road was where I copped that North Face. So okay. I copped this North Face. It was like 3-in-1. Yeah, I have it till this day.
The Steep Tech,
bruh.
It's a snorkel. It's a regular jacket, and then you can fold it up into like a little.
Bruh, like
no doubt.
I don't know if it's that one, but I know that is.
You can do different things.
Super fresh.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, when I post this on wherever I post this, I'm gonna put pictures of it because you couldn't tell me shit. Like I was what?
North Face is still classic. It's still classic.
I was outside.
Yeah.
So anyway, I remember having that, and you came into my room,
and I seen it,
and you were like, "Yo," like, and bro, like you walked in with this swag. I remember you had a fitted on. I don't know if it was, and I remember you had like one of those like military like Russian sweaters.
Yeah.
With the lapels.
With the lapels.
Yo, Sid. You had no, Sid. Listen to me.
I got some.
Do you have pictures of that? I would love to see pictures of this.
I have a picture of us of that night at the Lauren, and I'm gonna send it to you.
Okay.
But I got something that next time we see each other, you're gonna be like, oh wow. So
Sid, I want to see that, please. Okay, I want to see that. Send that to me. So you had, bruh. Like this was the flyest shit I ever seen, right? So when you came in, you had, and I remember you had like all these belt buckles. you had mad belt buckles. Listen,
Jesus Christ,
yo, is my memory good?
Yeah.
Yo, I'm okay, right?
Yeah,
I'm okay.
You're good. You're good.
I'm all right. I'm all right. So listen, so. You have mad belt buckles. Sid, if you look at my pictures from Korea, from like after we met, I got mad belt buckles in my and that's from you. That's from you. That was you, bro. Yeah. I was like, yo, like you inspired me or whatever.
Oh,
I went and got I went and got like a money buckle. like a so but yo,
no doubt.
So listen. But what I want to tell you is you had that sweater on, and you had
black. I remember that.
You had a black sweater, and you had what appeared to me, because I couldn't figure it out at first, but it was like like a napkin that you would get like at a banquet.
Inside the lapel.
Bruh, you had that joint folded up and slid into the lapel. Like, yo, who does that? Why is that there? But that shit is fly as hell to me.
Yeah.
Like
a handkerchief. It was a handkerchief, but it was up here in the cot. Up here. At the
yeah, like you just had it like folded in a certain way.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I love this dude. I love him. He's my boy. Like, whether he knows it or not, that's my dude, right?
Where did I get that from? I don't know where I got that from.
I don't know where you got that from, but that was lit. That was super lit.
That's funny you said that, because I still remember that shirt. It's black. It's like the real rugged ones that we used to wear, but it's black though.
Right.
And this has the loops at the top of the collar. You could just put something in there, and I remember that. Yeah.
What made you come up with that?
I don't know. I seen it somewhere, and I ended up going to like an Army and Navy store. I ended up going to an Army and Navy store in Delaware somewhere, and I seen it. It was like a $10, $15 sweater.
Yeah.
So I just bought it, and I bought like a little $5 bandana with it. I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna just put the bandana right there.
So you did that before getting out to Korea?
Yeah. That before getting there, that was like a sweater that I had bought before I had got to Korea.
So you just showed up and you were like, listen, let me just do this, like.
Yeah, I don't know why I did. I do random shit like that,
bro. But it was dope as hell. To me, it was dope as shit. Like, you know.
That's funny you remember that, because I remember that. That's crazy.
But this is what's important, right? Is like first impressions.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you meet someone for the first time, like I tell you right now, man, like your energy at that time to me, right? Like it's just weird, man. It was like, and it's the same energy whenever I see you. So Sid, respectfully, bro. So we're in Korea, the end of 2006.
Yeah.
I leave in 2007.
Yeah.
Right? I go to Italy. I don't see you again. I don't Sid, I don't physically see you again until 2000 what?
16? No. 18.
18?
Yeah, when I seen you at the shop at McGuire, that was like because I got the McGuire in 17.
Okay.
By the time I seen you, that was probably I was already there for like maybe like a year and some change.
Okay.
Maybe, yeah.
So that was
I didn't even know you were there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And when I saw you and you saw, bruh, like it was like we never.
I was like, no fucking way, that's MACH.
Like, there's no way that's MACH as a first sergeant.
As a first shirt.
Like, there's no way.
As a first shirt, yo.
Yep,
as a first shirt.
But you know what's cool about that? I tell people all the time, man. I'm like, hey, listen, when you're dealing with folks, like especially like when you're in a leadership position,
mm-hmm.
and you're dealing with whoever may be your peers or the folks that are above you, beneath you, doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
I tell people all the time, listen, you have to ensure that you're treating everyone
mm-hmm.
equally.
Yep.
Here's why. Everyone that you encounter in the military or in life, period, few things. They either know somebody,
mm-hmm.
they either know someone, they're gonna be someone,
mm-hmm. Yeah,
right? Or they're gonna tell someone.
Yeah.
Those are the ones, man. You don't know what people are gonna develop into.
Yep, absolutely.
So treat everyone the same.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like it's
to see you. I was like, after I saw you and I talked and I chopped it up with you, I was like, you know what? It's not a surprise that I saw you there, because anybody that's associated with the military, that's from our region, and when I say our region, I mean New York, New Jersey, Philly, Camden, and somehow they make their way towards McGuire in their career.
Yeah.
So when I saw you, it was just like, oh shit, that's MACH. But I was like, wait, MACH is from Brooklyn. Of course he's in this area. Like
Right. Yeah, 100%.
yeah,
like, of
he's
course
from Brooklyn.
yeah.
Of course he's in this area. Like,
man, bro, but it's just wild, like seeing you, and then I saw you like a few other times,
yeah,
on base and everything, and I'm just like, man, look, number one, the world is small, the military is even smaller. You know what I mean?
1%.
Like, man, bro, like, just you have to treat people the right way, because everything follows, man. Everything follows, and you run into folks and you see people again, and you're just kind of like, yeah, man. It's wild how that kind of happens. But I am a firm believer, Sid, that is the universe.
Yep, that's destiny.
That is the universe, man.
Yeah.
That's destiny. Like, that was not a mistake for us to like run into each other. That was not a mistake, man.
That's supposed to happen.
That was supposed to happen.
Yep.
The cool thing is that we're knowledgeable of that, right? Because some folks, they'd be like, oh, I ran into MACH, I ran into Sid. But we're like, no, hold on. We're a little bit more in tune.
There was something kinetic in the universes lined up a certain way to make that happen.
Yeah.
Like,
and here's the other thing. It wasn't just one time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We kept seeing each other.
We kept running.
Even one weekend I was working, I ran into you, and you ended up giving my guys free passes to a cookout with some food, and my whole shift ate for free. I was like, yo, you can thank my homie MACH. They was like, yo, tell him I said what's up. I was like, yo, they all ate good that day too. I was like, but we kept running into each other.
That's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about.
We over here cooking now. I was like, all right, I'm gonna get the joints to my guys. They'll come over. It's cool, man. Life is good.
Sid, how did it feel to retire?
Man, I'm gonna tell you, it's
hang on. Can I stop you just really quick? I apologize. I'm not trying to cut you off. When I say that, how does it feel to retire, Sid? People will look at this right now, and think like you're like 18 years old. you have a beard. Okay, all good. Yeah. There's a lot of 18-year-olds running around with beards. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you are an honorably retired member of the United States Air Force. Yeah. Don't get that confused. Don't get it twisted. My man has seen, done, and accomplished.
Well, a lot in 20 years.
Don't get that twisted.
Yeah.
Right?
You know.
So you may look 18. I wished I looked 18. MACH needs to lose a little bit of weight. But it's okay. Because this is what Spark.N.Stride is about, right? Wellness, resiliency, right? So we're gonna. I'm bringing you guys on a journey.
Touch on wellness,
right?
Yeah, let's touch.
So we're gonna do it. But listen, brother, you look like a young ass dude to me, and to many others. You have life experience. You have traveled. You are aware. You have seen, right? What does it feel like to be retired, fully retired, right now?
It feels great. I feel like I'm finally getting a chance to catch up with the folks. I feel like I'm finally getting a chance to catch up with the folks that actually helped me through this process, and just to get to tell them thank you.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of people that played a part in this. I didn't do this. This 20-year career didn't happen. I didn't do this all on my own, with the active duty and putting on the uniform. Yeah, but my mom was in my corner. My dad was in my corner. My son was in my corner. There's so many good leadership folks is in my corner. There's so many people that, that contribute to the process along the 20 years. It's just like, it's a time to catch back up with them and tell them, hey, man, look, thank you. It feels good. I get to travel. I get to do different things and all the things. I feel like, one part of my career is that I spent about 12 years overseas. So like something that's missing from my life is never getting the chance to see like cities in the States. Like I probably only been to like a handful of cities in America. Overseas in Europe and Asia, I've been all over the place. But in America, I only seen like, maybe a handful of cities. And now I get to travel to those cities and thank people that I met across my military journey, good friends that I met, genuine people that I ran across, and just get say, just it was a pleasure meeting you. Let's have a drink. Thank you, for everything. You know what I mean? Just it's that right there, just getting to travel and catch up with old folks and have a good time.
Man.
So, but yeah, it's a good time.
Listen, one of the things that I think about all the time is, so you and I, we came into the military at a different time.
Oh yeah.
So clearly, like our benefits are a little different, that kind of thing. You and I both came into the military in a time where we qualify for, I believe it's called like the top 3, like the way our pension is set up.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I'm not a finance guy by any means. This new generation, they're more along, I believe it's the BRS.
Blended
retirement system, which is more like a 401k type of a setup. So our generation is pretty much the last
of a dying breed.
The last of a dying breed.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Yeah, man. It's interesting to like, if you really want to break it down and really like get into like the specifics about it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not that guy. I'm just not. I'm just not that. That well versed on it. Mm-hmm. But to your point, all of the folks that helped you along the way, mm-hmm. I equate that to mentorship. Mm-hmm. I equate that Absolutely. To mentorship, and I tell folks all the time: you see someone successful, you see someone who's made it, you see someone who's elevated. Best believe there are several mentors
along the way.
Yep. You cannot do this on your own.
You cannot do it on your own. I don't care. It don't matter what you're doing, whether you're doing something on the civilian sector, on the IT side, you're a nurse, you're this, you're that, you're in the military. You're going to have people that you're going to come across that are going to help you, that are going to bring you to the next level and show you what it takes to get there.
Big time. I think for me, for the most part, mentorship is one of the most important aspects of our military service.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because folks who've seen and done, they could watch from afar and be like, look at this crash dummy. watch this crash dummy. Right?
Yeah.
Or they could be like, hey man,
slow down.
Time out. You're gonna hit that wall.
Yeah.
You're going too fast.
You put what they say, you put in the cart before the horse.
Putting the cart before the horse.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. I mean, that mentorship aspect about it, I think anyone who's made it to our level, if you ask, they'll honestly tell you, hey man, I've had this person, and this person, instrumental in my development, my progression, my professional development, Sid, with professional development though. Mm-hmm. So, Spark.N.Stride, mm-hmm. We are a brand that advocates and echoes the message of wellness, mental health, resiliency, and personal development. Mm-hmm. That's what we're about at Spark.N.Stride. Right now, where you're at, because you could easily, and no one would fault you for this, right? Mm-hmm. You could easily say, hey, man, I've done the following. I've driven around 3-star generals. I know how to, I forget those terms you were saying about the Mercedes-Benz. But in any case, you could say, hey, man, I've seen, I've conquered. There's nothing else that I need to do.
No.
For me, personal development doesn't just stop with the military.
Nah, it doesn't.
Right?
No, it doesn't.
And especially as a father, mm-hmm. right? A leader within your community and your family. what other things are you seeking out, or what would you like to get into in terms of personal development?
Well, right now I'm working on the. It's funny you brought up the blended retirement system. Right now, I'm working in on the investor side of the house. I would like to get the message out as far as how important financial literacy is. One thing about being retired, it told me a lot of different things about myself. It's like a like a self-reflection moment as far as like how I am financially.
Okay.
Like how I am financially, what does financial freedom look like? What does financial independence look like? Being retired gave me a vision on what that's really supposed to look like.
Okay.
And I kind of tapped into different things, and I've been doing something for the last 5 years. And there's a lot of things that we don't know as far as where we come from. And we don't know them for a certain reason. It's because they're not taught to us. Financial freedom, financial independence, and those things are not taught to us. And I just kind of tapped into it, and I just kind of kept running with it. And I just want to show how people can actually get to the level of financial independence and financial freedom through your normal everyday 9 to 5.
Wow.
It doesn't require you to be a billionaire. It doesn't require you to be a millionaire. But all it really requires is you to stay consistent and stick to one thing.
Okay.
Right? Just stay consistent and just stick to one thing. Don't try to go outside the lines and recreate something else, right? It takes one person to make the sacrifice, whether that be consumerism, whether that be student loan debt, whether that be, hey, big ass mortgages and all this other crazy shit. It takes one person to sacrifice for their family tree, and you can actually achieve financial independence, not from your family, not for just you, but for your entire family tree.
Really?
And pass that down into succession. And being retired for the last 3 years, I finally know what that looks like and how it's constructed and how the pieces that need to be put into play are put into play. So, and I'll share those with you later on, after we finish here, but it's really not that hard.
Really?
It's really not that hard. It's really simple. Anybody from the guy who works at the sanitation department to the guy who sits on Wall Street at the Morgan and Stanley IT office can do it. But it's a mindset. It's a mindset that we have to get to. And that's what being retired for since 2023 years now, that's what it's taught me. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Listen, Sid, brother, man, listen, thank you for coming to Spark.N.Stride.
It's a pleasure.
Sharing your story, sharing what you've been through, sharing what you're passionate about and what you're on to. We really, really appreciate it.
My pleasure.